Hello, my pals. This is your friend Happy Dinosaur 8000, your prehistoric movie critic, and friend, and on the internet. Basically, I am reviewing the Steven Seagal film from 1994, or called On Deadly Ground. But basically, I feel like the title I gave it, even for the thumbnail is justified. The title being "Fat Steven Seagal is on Deadly Ground." Mainly because this movie feels like a fucking joke. Okay, it's cheesy as hell, in tone, over the top as possible, on the level of a Max Payne in video game. In where there's so many cliches, it's over the top with its cliches. It's the point where you have no choice but to laugh with it. Essentially, I think this movie was trying to be serious, but it feels like a parody. Basically, here's the plot: it takes place in Alaska, where an evil businessman, oil tycoon, wants to make an oil rig to get money from the oil industry and take the oil rights away from the Alaskan people, and essentially, this plot involved over the top um, writing, explosions. There's more or less big name actors for the time. I have like Michael Caine, Steven Seagal, and the guy who played the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket. Okay, and basically, along with like Native American tribes, and I'm just laughing because this thing is so over the top. It feels like it exists in the Power Rangers like universe versus something. That's kind of the level of cheese we're going with. But it's cheesy enough to the point where I can't take it seriously, even though it wants me to. Even if it did want me to, don't like the do. Basically, there's something in there. I was laughing. I was laughing hysterically throughout this whole entire movie. One of her parts in here, from here, was like at times I felt like I was watching. Actually, I felt like I was watching a comic book movie, like a 1990s one, like a Joel Schumacher-esque one that was over the top as possible. So like a bad one of those. Basically, there's like one point in here where it's like, "You must be reborn, Fat Steven Seagal." I'm basically calling that element. But basically, he gets like a vision quest sort of, or just a hallucination. Basically, where like he gets two paths, one with a sexy Native American lady, one with an old lady. He chooses the old lady path, and where she just hits him, or she basically taps him a bunch of times, and with like a maraca, like a baby rattle esque thing. And she's like, "The Earth has been fucked beyond belief. It is your job to save it." And then we just see him rise from the water, or like that lady in the water from the King Arthur sword, just hands him the sword. That's how we see him rise from the water. Or like one thing here I was laughing about where it's like basically Steven Seagal gets this one a Native American lady to follow him on his quest. And so basically they go to Steven Seagal's brother, and she's just like, "How do we get the police to solve this equation? You're not supposed to resolve this problem." And basically, I'm laughing because like the police have not been anywhere in this movie. We witnessed the death of an old man. Old man in a fucking oil rig explode. And like, this movie freaking ends with a fire conclusion of Steven Seagal burning up and exploding an oil rig, and also, so that was the clown. Basically, it ends with him becoming a domestic terrorist, and lecturing us about the environment afterwards. That's sort of like a drug dealer trying to tell us about good financial advice. I it's well meaning, I guess, but it does sort of come from what I wouldn't consider trustworthy. Really, really. Overall, this thing was just so cheesy, so 90s. I wouldn't call it good, but it was enjoyable. I give it dinosaur approval. Well, it's a so bad as good film, and I give it roughly. I'll give it a 5.2 out of 10. And that's my review. I thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a very good and happy day. Merry Christmas, and a happy new year. Bye.